The Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
Cowboys snapped a 5-game losing streak with a wild 34-26 win in Washington over the Commanders as Dallas improved to 4-7 on the year. Texans got upset at home, falling to the Titans 32-27 despite getting 8 sacks on defense. Texans safety Jalen Petrie expected to miss multiple weeks with a partial pectoral tear suffered in the loss.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that is on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be listening, via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player live at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching and listening the show on YouTube. If not, go to SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show, or you can always just feel free to call in at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Welcome in. It was a wild weekend. It started Saturday in the NFL, or in college football, with A&M losing in quadruple overtime to Auburn. You saw the wildness continue throughout the entirety of that day. Texas playing Kentucky really close, surviving that game with some late scores to make it look better than it was. You also had OU dismantling Alabama, Just the craziness in college football on Saturday led to a wild NFL Sunday, as well as saw a lot of upsets. You saw a lot of upsets. The Cowboys were one of them. So were the Houston Texans, as they got upset by the Tennessee Titans at home, nonetheless, in a game where they had 7 first-half sacks, 8 sacks total, and still managed to find a way to lose that game. And I'll tell you, that offense in the second half is an issue. And I understand the calls for Bobby Slowick right now, because they're the same issues week after week. And at some point, that's either on the coordinator, and if it's not the coordinator, it is the players themselves. And there are so many issues with what's going on. I know a lot's been made of C.J. Stroud's safety he took in the final seconds of the game. But to be honest, I mean, there was pressure coming from both sides. He's trying to hop over a guy to extend a play, and he got hit out of bounds. He didn't just casually walk out of bounds. He was hit out of bounds. It was a sack. Those are issues that have been perpetuated through the entirety of this season. And at some point, somebody has to be held accountable. They've made changes on the offensive line with Jarrett Patterson now at center and Juice Scruggs moving over to left guard. And some of these issues have continued to persist. So at some point, the trickle down has to go up. And if the players and changes are being made on that offensive line and on the staff, and the same issues are continually happening, it's the play caller. Like, you're pulling a guard on a passing play that's giving a wide open rush at CJ Stroud. And these have been throughout the entirety of the season. And they're dumb mistakes. Some are mental mistakes that keep getting perpetuated over and over again by this team. Earlier this morning on the morning huddle, AJ Hoffman was talking about the Texans' loss to the Titans and where the Texans are in the thick of the AFC power.
All right, the Houston Texans. What has happened to this team? How this was like I'll start with this. If the Texans didn't play in such a crumb-bum division, their division's bad. We'd be talking about one of the biggest disappointments coming into this season of anybody. The Texans aren't good. Texans are 7-5. The only reason they're going to make the playoffs is because the rest of their division is just inept. You know, the Colts, Titans, and Jags have combined for the same amount of wins as the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Those three teams combined have 10 wins. It's a garbage division. But if they weren't playing in that division, dude, we'd be talking about the Texans like completely melting down from a year ago. I don't know. I mean, I get the offensive line. The offensive line stinks. And Titus Howard coming out after the game saying we just got to decide if we want it or not when the offensive line stinks so bad. It's like, dude, I don't know who you're talking to. You might need to take a look in the mirror. The Cowboys or the Texans offensive line is pathetic. But they've now lost 4 out of 6 after their 5-1 start. And their 2 wins came against the Cowboys, which that's a free square, and the Colts in a game that they probably shouldn't have won. So, now they're missing field goals with a chance to go to overtime, and instead they missed the field goal and then get safety, lose by 5. Safety didn't matter once they missed that field goal. But yeah, just an absolute collapse. When you sack the quarterback as many times as they have, you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win when your defense does the things that they did. And this Texans team finds a way to underperform. 2 more picks for CJ Stroud. Now Will Levis also threw a pick 6 because Will Levis just sucks. We've decided that Will Levis stinks. 8 sacks he got. 8 sacks Will Levis took yesterday. Pathetic. Wow. But statistically, at the end of the day, Will Levis was better than CJ Stroud. Joe Mixon, 14 carries, 22 yards. 22. Not 122, 22. That's 1.6 yards per carry, friends. 1.6. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tony Pollard. Who needs Tony Pollard? Not the Cowboys. That's not. They don't need him. They got Zeke. Tony Pollard, 24 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. 5 yards per tote. Ugh. Disgusting. Yeah, the Texans, again, it's not going to matter because their division is so crappy, no one can catch them. But Dolphins, Chiefs, they get the Jags this week. They're at Jacksonville. Then Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens, and then at the Titans. They might lose all those games. I don't know that they'll be. I mean, they'll probably be favored at Tennessee, although it won't be much. They will not be a favorite. They will not be a favorite at Kansas City, certainly. I don't know if they'll be a favorite against the Dolphins at home, which is wild. But that's where the Texans are right now after that hot start. Just not all that good. And again, you can blame a lot of it on injury, but dude, at some point, everybody's got injuries. Overcome something. Good Lord. CJ Stroud just melting. And everybody got mad at me when I said this before the season. CJ Stroud is due for a drop-off because rookie quarterbacks generally don't do what CJ Stroud did. CJ Stroud had probably the best rookie year of any quarterback ever. There was no way that CJ Stroud that's just what he is. And CJ Stroud is now the new Patrick Mahomes. He's better than everybody. Forget about it. No, dude. This is the freaking NFL. The league adjusts to you. the league has adjusted to CJ Stroud. And CJ Stroud it doesn't mean that CJ Stroud's not going to be good. It just means that CJ Stroud is not the second coming. And I saw it for the first time yesterday. I saw Texans fans on Twitter pining for Deshaun Watson. Oh, back when we used to have a real quarterback. Oh, that it's getting bad in Houston. When people are like, oh, if only we could have prime Deshaun Watson again. Oh, the Texans have forgotten what it was like. They've forgotten what a terrible, terrible, terrible person Deshaun Watson is.
Look, and I get it. Some people calling for Deshaun Watson are probably just trolls. Because, let's face it, one of C.J. Stroud's interceptions, John Mechie stopped on a route, which allowed the corner playing off and in front to basically just get thrown the ball. And if John Mechie doesn't stop on a route, there's one less interception. It's probably a completion. There was another penalty that called back what would have been the go-ahead and potentially game-winning touchdown from Nico Collins. And then Kaimi Fairbairn misses a chip shot field goal that would have tied it and sent it to overtime. There are reasons and excuses for everything. But I look at mainly the calls for Bobby Slowick, and I'm seeing against one of the league's top run defenses. You are continually trying to force the run against a front that you cannot run against, which is putting you in the worst possible third and long situations. And it's been the case all year long. The Texans have been in third and long with CJ Stroud more than any team in the NFL. So CJ's already having to play from behind in a stacked deck against him. And with the offensive line struggles, that's not making it any easier for him. And he's still finding a way to have some semblance of success. There has to be something done. And I look at what Caleb Williams has done now since the firing. And I hate doing this because I was one of the ones that did not want to see Bobby Slowick leave in the offseason in fear of what could happen with CJ Stroud going into a second system under a different offensive coordinator in his second season. I am now fearful of what this could do to stunt his progression just in terms of seeing ghosts with how much pressure he's facing. Maybe it's time for Gerard Johnson to take over play calling. But I know Bobby Slowick is DeMeco Ryan's friend. But sometimes as a head coach, you have to make tough decisions. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Did the Cowboys do the right thing yesterday in winning against the Washington Commanders? Jason and Joe, the Blitz, talked about it. We'll hear it coming up and debate whether it was the right move or not right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the inevitable return of Rob Thompson. We got to talk the Cowboys game with him. Got to talk the Aggies game with him. That should be fun. Plus, who came out on top in the Harbaugh Bowl. It's the Morning Huddle. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
At the Home Depot, the holidays have arrived.
And so is all my family. So I'm working on keeping up with the laundry.
The Home Depot is here to help with Black Friday savings up to 40% off select appliances. Spend less time doing laundry with smart, efficient appliances from Samsung, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction.
Perfect. Less laundry time means more family time.
Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances at the Home Depot. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
We're getting crushed out here. What's going on with you, Nick? You used to be the unstoppable king of flag football.
I'm feeling my age. At 40, I feel like I can't keep up anymore.
Is it lower testosterone?
Lower T?
Yeah. When you turn 40, you have less testosterone. It's harder to stay lean and get the same results you used to get. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I know Nugenix. It really gives you an edge.
No question. At work, the gym, the bedroom, Nugenix turned back the clocks. Now I've got the same energy that I did in my 20s.
I want to try Nugenix.
All right, time out. Guys, go text Nugenix and get yourselves a complimentary bottle to try.
Text TIGER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TIGER to 42424. That's TIGER to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm releasing your Monday Night Report absolutely free on recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Baltimore at Los Angeles. Baltimore has a potent offense capable of explosive plays both through the air and on the ground. LA and their talented receiving corps can stretch the field and make the big plays. Tonight is going to be a monster game. I've got the side and total. That's 2 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. Call now. Hear him for free on recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. Call 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Baltimore, LA, side and total. I love to go 2-0. Get the next 7 days for free on me. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. Earlier today on the Blitz, interesting conversation because a lot of people caught up in the win, keeping the Cowboys playoffs hopes alive, and what many deem as a lost season anyway. And there was a conversation about whether the Cowboys should actually even be trying to win these games.
A couple years ago, you just started working here at the radio station, retiring from television, and the Spurs sucked.
Right.
And there was this kid over in France that everybody wanted. And the Spurs were clearly tanking for him.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, you were very, very, very adamantly against tanking.
Yes.
Get off my lawn.
Yes. Yes and yes.
You're not a fan of tanking.
No.
Okay. So today I open up my Instagram and I see at SA Sports Star on Instagram a video of you, Joe Reinagel, bitching that the Cowboys won, and that's going to cost them in the draft. They should have lost that game, which is tanking.
Well, to a degree, but it's
to a degree.
It's different.
How?
Okay, well, let's think back to that Frenchman that the Spurs coveted. They started off the season tanking.
Okay.
From day one. Now, some would say maybe the Cowboys did too. I don't know.
Yeah, this year's not about winning. Ask Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Well, anyway, look, once you know you're out of it, you have no chance. Now, the Cowboys are not mathematically out of it. They still have an opportunity. But I'm just saying, they're not going anywhere. Even if the Cowboys made the playoffs, it's going to be another one and done. Right? Which is fine. But I'm just saying it costs them in that respect. And I just think at this point in time, since they already screwed up and gave that quarterback all the money they gave that dude, they can't do anything about that.
I love you, Dak.
So, I mean, they have to draft well. And they haven't really done that lately.
So I'm trying to figure out where you stand on tanking. Because, look, I've got a good friend of mine, lives in New Jersey. His name is Brian Carson, and he's annoying as hell. I almost wish he would lose my number every Sunday because every time the Cowboys do something dumb, he texts me, and he's Mr. Negative, right, on everything.
Okay.
And started yesterday when Aubrey missed. Like, and now the kicker has joined the suckage, right? And then when the game is over, they won, and now he's mad because it's messing with the draft. So you're bitching during the game that they're playing like crap because you want to see your team win, and now they've won, and now you're mad because they won, so that could affect their draft pick. Make up your damn mind.
No. It's completely different.
How?
It's different. You don't start the season tanking.
Okay.
You don't. You start the season with a plan to win. But when you're 3-7 and you've looked like crap getting to that point, then it's time. And look, I'm not convinced the Cowboys weren't trying to blow that game.
Oh, they tried.
They tried.
They tried.
They got lucky as hell that nobody told Turpin that they were supposed to lose. Nobody told the Washington kicker that the Cowboys didn't want to win.
No, it was, look, man, we're trying to lose. No, we're trying to lose. No, hold my beer. I'll miss this extra point. What are we doing here? I mean, it was just insane, the final couple of minutes of that game.
It was. And you can make the argument that people were attempting to lose. But Jason said it. Joe said it. I agree with the sentiment. organizations tank, players don't. And you could hear it from a bunch of the Giants players who they end up playing coming up about the players that have kind of quit on New York's team because the organization quit on them. Malik Neighbors calling them out. It's just not a good look. But give McCarthy his credit. One thing he has done is kept that locker room together, and everything that they've said, they're still trying to win football games. They still think they have a chance. And they are playing like they still have that chance, and they believe that they can do that. And you got to give the man his flowers for that. This team has not quit on Mike McCarthy. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Coming up next, we got Monday Night Football, the Har Bowl. That is right. Chargers, Ravens. It is presented by by Yingling. They are the next generation in light beer.
94.1 FM.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports.